Halt! Who thou goes there? Us three sisters of witches. We bring to Macbeth and Banquo future tales of futures for each of you. Speak, witches. Tell me of my future. All hail Macbeth. Hail to the Thane of Glamis. All hail Macbeth. Hail to the Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, thou shalt be king hencefair. Thou shalt be king, Thane of Cawdor. Those are those I have not been named, and I am thy king. Thy Duncan is king. What is mine of me, Banquo? Banquo, lesser than Macbeth, and greater, no so happy, yet much happier. Thou shalt be get kings, thou be none, so all hail Macbeth and Banquo. Wait, where thy witches go? Macbeth, Banquo. You be king, but how shall you be king? But Duncan is king. Inside of Macbeth's mind, maybe I should kill Duncan. End of Act 1, Scene 3. Act 1, Scene 5. Lady Macbeth receives a letter from her husband, Macbeth. It says that witches met Banquo and Macbeth, and thou gave him prophecies for Macbeth, and Macbeth says in the letter that he will be king. And this is her reaction. What is your type? And enter a messenger. What brings you, What is your tidings? My lady, king comes here tonight. Thou made to say it? Is there no master with him? Or wert so would have informed for preparation? Messenger. So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming, one of many fellows had speed of him. Give him tending, he brings great news. Exits the messenger. Lady Macbeth starts saying of how cowardly is Macbeth, her husband Macbeth, but how she will not be. May thick my blood stop the access and passage to remorse, that nor compassion's visiting of nature, shack my fell purpose, nor keep peace between. Thy effect it, and come woman's breast, and take my milk for gal, the murdering mistress, wherever in sightless substance you wait, or not nature's mischief. End of Act 1, Scene 5. Act 1, Scene 7. Macbeth thinks to himself, maybe I should not kill my king, thy Duncan. I do not. He has honored me with my besiege, and maybe soon I can be king after he has perished, and maybe or else his sons. But I do not know. Enters Lady Macbeth. You have changed your mind about killing Duncan. Hence you can be king, and you should rule this land. I do not want to kill my king, says Macbeth. What? And if we fail, I will be framed, and I shall be killed, and so will my son and my wife, and you, my lady. We can do this. I have Lady Macbeth says, I have a plan to frame the guards at guard Duncan. We wait tonight to kill him. End of Act 1, Scene 7. Act 2, Scene 1. Macbeth and Banquo and Fleance had a conversation about the witches and stuff, and of not killing Banquo. That what Macbeth told Banquo. They exit, and as Macbeth is thinking to himself, he sees a floating bloody dagger, and he now says, he thinks to himself actually that this is a sign that he will be killing Banquo. This is the end of Act 1, Scene 2. And Act 2, Scene 1. Macbeth, I have not killed, but I've drugged the guards. They are unconscious now. Head in and kill Banquo. Duncan. Clonk, clonk, clonk. There. End of Act 2, Scene 2. Continuing onwards to Act 2, Scene 3. Macbeth has killed Duncan. His dagger is covered in blood, and so has he. He walks towards the exit to see his wife standing there. Macbeth, you fool! You are covered in blood. And why are you walking out here with the dagger? Hand me to it and I'll frame the guards. And I might as well put blood on the other guard's dagger too. And put some blood on them. Now come, we must clean ourselves to make sure we are not been seen. End of Act 2, Scene 3. This Act 2, Scene 3. Hello, Sir Macbeth and Lennox. What brings you here? We are here to retrieve Duncan. Lennox will retrieve him. Are you drunk, Porter? Me? No. I bring tiding news. Duncan has been murdered. Murdered? Who killed him? Both his guards murdered him. Their daggers and their armor are covered in blood. Where have you taken him in? No. Macbeth was there. He killed him on sight due to anger towards the death of his king. Macbeth. We shall have a hearing. End of Act 2, Scene 3. Act 3, Scene 3. Both the murderers have killed Banquo. Lennox said it. His son, Fleance escaped. As the murderers are retrieving back from Banquo's dead body, they see a third murderer come in. And they ask him, "What brings you here? Who sent you, murderer? Who sent you?" "Macbeth sent me." "Macbeth? I guess he did not trust us that we would not get the job done. Anyways, we must find his Banquo's son. He escaped. Macbeth said we needed both Banquo and Fleance to be killed. Let's move. End of Act 3, Scene 3. Act 3, Scene 4. Macbeth got word from the murderers that they've successfully killed Banquo, but they gave him bad news that his son, Fleance, had escaped. Macbeth was very worried about this. After so, he returns back to the banquet, and what he sees is this. Cheers to Banquo and Macbeth. Banquo, Macbeth. Yes? Macbeth, Banquo is not here. What are you talking about? He is right here. No, there's an empty chair. What? Why are you here, ghost? I saw you die. I saw you die. You should not be alive. Okay. I'm sorry, everyone. He is feeling an illness since he was a little kid. I must take him to his quarters now. End of Act 3, Scene 4. Macbeth enters into where the three witches are brewing up a cauldron. And as he enters, he asks them, Witches, I need I know 3 more prophecies of what is to become. Fine then. As they are saying words and stuff, out of nowhere, a floating armed head comes to warns Macbeth. Beware, the armed head says. Beware, Macduff, beware, Macduff. And as such, the beware, Macduff, beware, Macduff. Fine. And the armed head disappears. And he's like, and Macbeth is like, that's obvious. Macbeth is a threat. As it finishes, another apparition appears. This one appears as a bloody child. What manner of thing is that? Macbeth. Be blood bold and result. No woman or no man of power will harm you that is of a woman's born. That was born of a woman. Then the second apparition disappears. The third apparition is a child with grass tree in hand. In this case, a head. The third apparition says, Be lion, Mateld, proud and take no care, who calves, who frees, or where conspires. Our Macbeth shall never vanquish me until great Bram wood to high Dunsin Hill shall come against him. And that apparition disappears as well. A final apparition appears, and this is an apparition of Banquo's family line. A line of Banquos. A line of men with Banquo's face. Then the fourth apparition disappears. End of Act 4, Scene 1. Act 4, Scene 2. Ross and Lady Macduff are talking about an armed men coming to her home to kill her and her family. Ross is asking her to leave the home, but she denies it. And Ross exits. As so, a loud crash comes through her door, and 2 armed men come in with swords in hand, ready to kill her. No! They kill Lady Macbeth, and with her final words, she notices both her kids are stabbed. There we go. They both are stabbed. End of Act 4, Scene 2. Act 4, Scene 3. Macduff and Malcolm are talking between each other, telling that Macduff is telling Malcolm to come back home and be king after they take care of Macbeth. But Malcolm is acting not like an actual king. He's like saying lies and stuff. but actually he is testing Macduff. He passes, and as he does, he says, "I'm a great king. I'll rule Scotland as my own, and I've been raising an army here in England." Enter an army. Yeah. We'll kill Macbeth. End of Act 4, Scene 3. Act 5, Scene 1. Lady Macbeth is wandering through the castle and heading to a sink, washing her hands, but washing nothing off. And she is saying, I helped kill Duncan and kill Macbeth, washing away the guilt so I do not fear it. And the doctor and a worried woman are worrying about this, and the doctor is worried that she might Lady Macbeth will hurt herself in some way. So I ask of you to take any sharp objects and anything away from her, to help. So do that for me, please. End of Act 5, Scene 1. Act 5, Scene 4. The siege of Macbeth's castle. Malcolm is outside of the castle with sword and soldiers planning by using planning. Sir, how should we enter into the castle without being seen? We shall use the forest, the woods of Burnham. The woods of Burnham. Chop them down and cover yourself in branches. Then we'll wait till the cover of night to attack. Right? To attack. Yes, my lord. End of Act 5, Scene 4. Act 5, Scene 6. Act 5, Scene 6. Act 5, Scene 5. Macbeth is inside the castle, looking down at the scene, seeing that the soldiers are dressed in the woods of Bramman, and the truth of the third apparition has come true. He will be vanquished. But as so, Satan enters in and says, "My lord, your Lady Macbeth is dead." "What? How so?" "She killed herself, sir. I think the guilt got to her." "No matter. We must charge out and face the enemy head on. Attack!" End of Act 5, Scene 6. The fight of Macbeth and Macduff. An epic fight between other fights. This is the scene where Macduff kills Macbeth. This is the end of the Shakespeare story Macbeth.